you able to find it within you to allow it to rise up so you can share it with others?
Well, that's a really good question. Another time my husband was trying to kill me, I would have been another Nicole Simpson. Literally, God came in and stopped time. It felt very strange to be without that usual circumstance. And I was told in spirit to pray, this is the short version, to pray, God forgive him, for he knows not what he does, God bless him. Now, I didn't get any response back, so I said it again, God forgive him, for he knows not what he does, God bless him. And then the voice said, now you can leave the room. It was back where I now have a therapy room. And so I said, well, I can't leave because I have to walk right by him. The room was smaller in those days. I have to walk right by him, and that's not safe, you know, because I won't be able to leave the room without being hurt. So angels surrounded me and took me out of the room, and I went down one end of the hall, and he came down this end and watched television, and he never touched me again. When you see God save yourself, your faith grows immediately.
Right,
And it was right in front of my eyes. And so that was a real turning point in my life. Not only that does prayer work, but it was actually protective. I know today that prayer's your armor. When it talks in the Bible about put the armor of God on, you're actually putting love in your life and sending it out. And no one can attack love. That stops domestic violence. So I have found the answer to domestic violence. When I quit defending myself and I started sending love out, he quit hurting, he moved out, which is unusual for someone in domestic violence. Usually the woman leaves with nothing.
Yeah.
He left. I found out a psychopath can't handle love. It's like oil and vinegar. And he left and kept coming back, but eventually I said no more. And so what I found out is that love is always the answer. And no matter what the problem is, when you send love to it, that is like a shield to you, but also repels them.
You might have even decided you wanted to check out.
Well, that exactly is what happened. I felt things were terrible, horrible, and awful, and they'd always stay the same. I had no option because when I was 3 years old, I saw my dad beat up my mom, and I thought I was next. And I went into a protective emotional shell. And I stayed emotionally 3 years old till I got to treatment and realized I could grow up and it would be safe. So, yeah, I tried suicide several times. And the first time I actually saw my angels helping me, I was overdosing on pills the doctor gave me that I got addicted to. They were in those days, they were very cheap. You could get, through insurance, you could get like a 3-month supply for $1. You know, so he gave me Valium, which is very addicting. And I went out with my pills, and the angels showed up and stopped me. I'm here because I've almost died 13 times.
13 times.
And every time, either God or my angels have shown up and kept me alive. And I needed that for my work. When I came into this lifetime, it was to help others.
Yeah.
And in the preface of my big book, Paradigm Busters, I explained that when I came in, I said, I want to come and help people because I know the answers. And God said, well, you have to go through the experiences they're having so they'll hear you. You're on the same wavelength emotionally, and they'll see you came through it and are on the other side, and they can do it too. So my script for my life has been very traumatic, and it's probably more than most people have had to go through if I listed all the situations. But it's been very valuable, so when someone does come for counseling, when they start talking, I immediately know what the answer is because I've been there, and I know what happens and how it works. So even though I wasn't thrilled going through these experiences, it's become very valuable, and it's a real treasure today to have answers that work. And they aren't the answers we've been taught through our regular culture.